Hey everyone, it's Big Daddy. So look, Big Daddy and Friends is back, and I'll tell you, our next guest, I have been trying to get a hold of, and finally I got him. And I'll tell you, I'm excited as I am honored to have this gentleman on because I respect him as a football man, someone that knows the game, understands it, and I'm not here to be his agent, but should be doing more and more and should be running an NFL team, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Everyone welcome Louis Riddick of ESPN NFL. How you doing, Louis?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on here. I'm glad we're able to hook up and get a conversation going. This is going to be fun.
Yes, you know, it's like I said, I always have admiration, obviously, being an ex-football player and being involved in football for 30-something years now. And just to, I'm trying to close the gap, you know, between all the TV personalities. You know, I had Steve Levy on, I've had Schefter on. I'm like, I got to get Louis Riddick on. Greasy already left for being a coach, and that's another story for another day. But I'm like, all right, I'm glad Louis is coming on. So a couple questions. What is, in your opinion, what is the single greatest play in the NFL ever? Would you say, is it the immaculate reception? How about 20 Dorsett's 99-yard run? You give me a great play.
You know what? I would look. Both of those are great picks right there. Those are two that would pop into my head instantly. I think the immaculate reception is probably the single greatest play, simply because there seems to be controversy as to what exactly happened on that play, and because of the fact that there's not a whole bunch of great angles of that play. I actually went and visited the site where the immaculate reception happened in Pittsburgh. You know, right outside of Heinz Field, they have like a memorial, an area where they believe that the play actually happened, where the reception actually happened. And so I think that one, because of how unique it was, because of how it really, I don't know, I guess that really took the Pittsburgh Steelers and made them a true household name, and really kind of helped kick off the dynasty that they became, and the most revered franchise maybe in professional sports that they became. I think that one probably sticks out in my mind for me. Although I remember that Monday night game that Dorsett had the long TD run, the 99-yarder against Minnesota. I remember that. I remember how Frank Gifford called it. It was just there's a lot of great ones like that, man. I can just think of just random touchdowns that Eric Dickerson had, and we were just talking about, having a discussion the other day about, great running backs in the NFL. And usually those kind of big plays are reserved around those guys, around great runs. And Dickerson had so many of them. Dorsett had so many of them. Earl Campbell had so many of them, watching him, and Barry Sanders. I mean, it's just, the NFL's littered with them, but you picked two great ones right there. But I'll go with the immaculate reception. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's endless in regards to plays that you can really say, hey, that was the best one, or okay, that one's my favorite one. It's like, wow.
Or you know what? I'll tell you what, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, how about the catch? I mean, with Dwight Clark, that doesn't get any better than that either. I mean, that play put San Francisco on the map, put Joe Montana really on the map, put Dwight Clark on the map. I mean, that's a great play. Absolutely catching that ball in the back of the end zone. I remember that one when it happened live too. I remember sitting in my mom's living room watching it. So it's wow.
Yeah, you have your favorite plays, you have your favorite memories, and I can listen. Everybody always says I should write a book, and I'm not ready for that yet. But I could list so many things and so many plays and great players that I've had the great fortune of not only working with and ensuring and protecting, which is my line of business with this, but just having friendships, relationships. It's the one thing that, I have to give credit to Adam Schefter. A long time ago, he said to me, he labeled me the most trusted man in sports, and it really didn't hit home for me, that quote, till about 10 years later, because I was kind of like, whatever. But I always
Yeah.
have my gratitude for that, for him saying that, and him having the confidence in me to be that person. But
Yeah.
anyway, so let's talk everyday topic now. So one question I have is Russell Wilson. He's now a Denver Bronco. Do you think he could duplicate what Peyton Manning did, bring the magic back to Denver, hopefully guide them and win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, look, Russ is one of those people who obviously has great football and personal character. So that's really what you're talking about was the magic for Peyton Manning. All right. We know that his skills on the football field are top notch. We know that Russ has the ability on the football field to beat you from the pocket, beat you outside the pocket, throwing on the run, running the football, highly football intelligent. Now the question is whether or not he can do the kind of things that Peyton did in terms of elevating everyone around him on the field, elevating everyone's level of accountability off the field, really having, I guess I should say some influence as far as how the football operation runs, the standard by which, everyone is held accountable. And we're not just talking about people on the football field. We're not just talking about the coaching staff, but everyone involved with football operations. That Peyton had his hand in all of that. And I think that's really what it takes, or what it's going to take, in order for him to be talked about in the same way maybe that Peyton Manning was talked about, and the influence that he had on that football team when he went there. And this is all at a time where, Peyton, as good as he was, the Super Bowl that he won there was not simply because, he was still a great player, because his physical skills weren't quite the same as they were in Indianapolis, but it was because of all these other intangible leadership type of things. And I think that's what really makes the greats great. That's what really separates and really creates the levels at the very top of the food chain, like we're talking about here. And if there's some people who believe Russ can do that and that he's that guy,
let me ask you this.
I don't know if necessarily. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So, do you think the Broncos are the best team right now in the AFC West?
I think that's still reserved for Kansas City.
Yeah.
They have the best offensive line in football, period. Patrick is going to be highly, highly motivated because of the fact that people continue to doubt his ability to duplicate maybe what he did in his first 2 years when he started, which was what? He wins an NFL MVP, then he wins a Super Bowl. It's this a Super Bowl MVP, and then they still are getting back to AFC Championship games, but they're not able to get over the hump. I think people believe that maybe that was the height of what he was able to do in some weird way. And then losing Tyreek Hill, people think as though maybe that is going to take a significant playmaking component away from this offense. But I think this team's going to be an even better team now.
Okay. So now, obviously, the big question with the Washington Commanders, what do you think is going to happen at quarterback this year?
Wow, that's a great question, man. I think, look, Carson Wentz, I don't know if he will ever be able to reclaim the magic of 2017 when he was on his way to being the league MVP. That's what people keep banking on. That's what everyone talks about when they talk about Carson. Well, if he could just get back. Like one time he was going to be that guy until he got hurt out there in L.A. He was going to be the guy. He was going to be the MVP. He was going to be the guy who definitely separated himself as far as him and Jared Goff were concerned in that draft class, as far as the quarterbacks were concerned. I don't know. I don't know if the culture will look. The whole culture surrounding that football team is a whole different discussion. But I don't know if he couldn't do it in Indianapolis with the kind of culture they had there and the kind of relationship he had there with Frank Reich. Then what's to say that Washington could create anything along those lines that would help him get back to that level that he had in 2017? I'm very skeptical of that one. I'm a big fan of Carson Wentz, both personally and professionally, considering my time talking to him. There's another one I'm going to just take a wait and see approach, though.
So it's easy to say. Well, no, it's not easy to say. who's the last man standing? I think that's the million-dollar question there. And I have a lot of ties there due to my relationships with Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio and several other people there. Martin Mayhew's there, so it's I cheer for them, and on an individual basis, and I cheer for my friends. I want all my friends to do well, so it's that's the kind of, like you said, it's a wait and see to figure out who's going to be what and who's going to do what. So okay, now America's team. Everybody always wants to talk about them. So Dak Prescott, what's he need to do to be that guy? I mean, you think of Dallas, you think of Troy Aikman, you think of Roger Staubach. What does Dak need to do to be in that conversation?
Well, I think over the course of 17 weeks, man, at some point in time, especially when it matters the most, more than likely, obviously, once they get into the postseason, Dak has to show that in the most crucial moments, whether it be a key third down, a 2-minute drive before the end of a half, the fourth quarter, 2-minute situation end of the game, a la San Francisco in the playoffs last year. I mean, those are the kind of moments that he has to say, I'm putting it on me. I'm going to make a unique play, whether it be a great throw into a tight window, scramble for a first down, scramble, throw the football, run the ball in from the red zone, whatever it is. He has to show that in that kind of moment, he's truly the franchise guy, the guy who everyone expects to make the play, and then, in fact, he delivers on the play. It can't be Zeke. It can't be CD. It can't be anyone other than him. That's what they pay him for. That's what many people, including myself, felt that he deserved the money for, because he can deliver in those kind of moments. And that's what he, in fact, now needs to do. And I know that sounds like, well, it's a team game. The defense has to do its part, and Mike McCarthy has to do his part as far as clock management and game management and situational management. But still, Jackie Sherrill, who was an old Pitt coach, I mean, you know who Jackie is, and coached down at Mississippi State for all those years in Texas A&M. Jackie Sherrill used to always say this: coaches don't win football games, players do. I mean, it sounds unique, doesn't sound like anything, groundbreaking, but this is what I'm talking about. Dak, when it matters the most, has to say, look, Mike's over there, okay? The coaches are over there. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to make this play, or I'm going to get the ball to you, and you're going to make this play, and we're going to win this football game. That's what he has to show.
Yeah, it's, everybody always says, what's the problem in Dallas? What's the problem in Dallas? Well, listen, you know what? Hard work gets the problems fixed. Great players get the problem fixed, and also great coaching. So it's like you said, it's just not one thing. It's all these things have to come together into play to make the wheel go round and to go forward and to win. And everyone wants to be a second guesser and try to fix something, but there's pieces that have to mesh and work together. And that's what you just explained. So that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
So now here's the fun part. We're going to do a little rapid fire, okay? This is kind of, I just ask you a question. You give me like the 30-second Reader's Digest version of it. So,
all right.
Okay, you need one win. Who's your quarterback?
Oh, man. Yeah. If I need just one. So it's in the playoffs, right? Okay, where are we at? Are we in a warm weather? Actually, it doesn't really matter. If I need just one win, I'm going to go with Tom Brady, because he's seen it all. He's done it all. He's been given every test. He has every answer for every test. He's truly shown that he can he can elevate the level of play of everyone around him. So it would be him.
Which NFL team is going to be a surprise this year?
Indianapolis Colts. I think Indianapolis has a chance to really challenge for a spot in the Super Bowl and be the challenge to be the AFC representative. And this is going to come down to, it's going to come down to Matt Ryan staying healthy. Matt Ryan recapturing some of the magic that he had in his Super Bowl year in Atlanta. but just staying healthy, the offensive line staying healthy, Jonathan Taylor having another great year, the defense still playing lights out, led by Darius Leonard. But I think the Colts are set up right now to win the South and challenge for the AFC crown without a doubt.
Your favorite sack, Jim Everett as a Ram or Jim Everett as a Saint? I know you're probably like, where did you get this one from? Yeah, which
favorite sack?
Yeah, which one when he was?
Oh, you know what? I'm trying to.
We pick one player, so Jim Everett.
No, I got you. I guess you know what? Probably Jim Everett as a Ram. I would say that. That'd be my favorite. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So here's one. What's the greatest Kobe Bryant moment of all time for you?
Oh boy. Probably when he hurt his Achilles and then came back out. I believe he shot the foul shots. It's probably one of my favorites simply because it exemplifies the kind of competitive character that he had. I mean, it really does. He was, and I've read a bunch about him, probably more so now, since he tragically passed than when he was alive. I think his competitive character is something that's probably, I wish we would have given it more attention and maybe paid, given him more of his just due when he was alive than we do now. But that to me showed just how tough this guy was and how much he really was one of those people who, when you hear athletes say, you're going to have to drag me off the court, that's really what you had to do. And even him with a ruptured Achilles, he was still standing there trying to play the game in some way, shape, or form. That is the epitome of competitiveness for me.
Yeah, that's a warrior and a legend, and may he rest in peace. And I know he's missed by so many. And like we say, Vince Lombardi is football, Kobe Bryant is basketball. That's how I feel,
question.
No
doubt.
If anyone wants to question me on that, go right ahead. But that's my opinion, and that's how I think it should be. So.
Yeah.
So now here's a subject close to my heart. You're going to love this. The best restaurant in Philadelphia.
The best restaurant? Oh, man. That's good because there's probably two of them that we really like as a family, man. Del Frisco's Double Eagle Steakhouse is one. And then we just tried a new one on Broad Street called Steak 48 that we had my daughter's graduation party. She just graduated from Villanova.
Oh, congratulations.
And so, thanks. Yeah, we just went there a week ago. So those are probably my two favorites right there. Del Frisco's and Steak 48. I could eat there a couple times a week if you really force me to. Those are some good spots. Great food, great waiters. I mean, servers, hostesses. I mean, it's a great atmosphere, both of those places.
I'll have to try your second choice. The first one, Del Frisco's. The first time I went to the one in Philly, I went with Sal Powell. He took me to dinner there. And, here you walk into this bank. I'm like, whoa, what a different look. It doesn't look like a restaurant, but man, top notch.
It doesn't. I think it's an old...
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying, I think it's an old bank, and it has so many different. I mean, it's so big, and the tall cathedral ceilings, and then the downstairs where you can eat in the vaults and stuff like that.
Yeah, no,
try Steak 48, man. You'll like that if you go there.
Yeah, I'll have to try that. I'll definitely have to try that. Who's your favorite music artist of all time?
Favorite music artist of all time. I think it would probably be one of two people because, I mean, we're talking about going all the way back to my childhood. Look, I mean, I grew up listening to Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson, so that would probably be the two that would pop into my head instantly. Michael made music for years and years, both as a child and as an adult. That was just that I think everyone that kind of like really brought everyone together. People, white, black, Hispanic, all people love Michael Jackson's style of entertainment and his style of music. And Stevie Wonder was just a marvel. I mean, he's an absolute genius as far as what he was able to do from a music composition standpoint, piano playing standpoint. those are the two that their music can take me back to when I was 5, 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Or now you could put it on in the middle of a party and everyone would dance to it and know the words to all of it. That's greatness to me.
Yeah, no, that's so. I have a little history with Stevie Wonder. I see you wearing your Nike hat there, and I am an influencer with Nike, and I used to work for them back in the day. So I was working security at a Super Bowl party, and a friend of mine was his producer. So he said to me, "Big Daddy, I'm in town, and here with Stevie and whatnot." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So all of a sudden, someone comes up to the door, and they're like, "Hey, are you Big Daddy?" "Yeah, yeah. How can I help you?" He's like, "Oh, so and so's here," and here comes Stevie Wonder in front of all these Nike people, like bosses and big shots and whatnot. And he says, and we start laughing. He says, "I'm here to see Big Daddy." And I never had met him, so it was like kind of like, and I was like, "Oh, hi, Mr. Hi, Mr. Wonder." I didn't even know what to say, but that was like one of my biggest thrills to have met him, and not only for him to be rolled up, into the party, and then everyone running to get his people chairs and whatnot, and that was a big thrill for me because obviously I still enjoy his music and one of the greatest of all time, and obviously Michael Jackson. Who doesn't sing or dance to him? I think I know every word of "Off the Wall" because one of my favorite songs. So it's you definitely picked two good ones.
Yeah, I think just recently, I think it was Ryan Clark who was on social media. He was saying he caused a little bit of an uproar where he said that Chris Brown was I think he said Chris Brown was more talented than Michael Jackson or a better performer than Michael Jackson. He said he could make that argument, and people kind of lost it on social media, saying how could you possibly ever even say that? And
that's a tough one. I mean, for
I think I agree with those people.
Yeah, I would stay out of that conversation. You get guilty by association. So anyway, listen to all you viewers and listeners out there. Louis, tell everybody how they can follow you, your social media handles, and obviously they see you on every ESPN show, so you could pick. You don't have to name them all because we know where to find you, but for everything else, let everybody know.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I've been on social media since 2013 on Twitter at L Riddick ESPN. Been on Instagram for just about the same amount of time at Louis.Riddick. And that would be my handle on there. I think those are the two where I'm most active. I mean, this fall you're going to see me, as far as TV is concerned, you're going to see me at a number of different places. We still have a couple of doubleheader Monday night games. You'll see me doing them in the preseason. We have a couple of features that are coming up. We're going to interview some players. I'm going to do some college this year and go back to doing that since I love, and I mean love, college football. And college football has become the wild, wild west. Big Daddy, as you know, it's going to be as unique a year as it's ever been as far as that's concerned. And the landscape of college football is going to change, dramatically over the next couple of years. So you'll see me at those spots. I'll still do my thing in the off season as far as, covering the Combine, the Senior Bowl, and then of course the Biggie at the end of that whole, calendar year, fiscal year, the NFL draft. So I'm around, man. You ain't getting rid of me yet.
Well, until we move you up into that executive role where you got to wear a shirt and tie every day and answer all the do's and do nots that the media will be throwing at you, God willing, sooner than later. So you got that in mind, and I look forward to seeing you on the road. Obviously, my business ensuring athletes from their college days all the way through their pro days, the Combine, the Senior Bowl. That's where I broke into that business. I definitely get out there. I know, when you know your American Express number and your Delta Sky Miles number by heart, you're traveling too much. So
no doubt.
That's the one thing I learned about 15 years ago. I'm like, man, I don't even have to write this down, man. I got it in my head. So it's but it's you know what? It's fun. Like you said, college football, no greater atmosphere, I think, than a college game. Especially when you're you're at Alabama or LSU or, in the swamp at Florida. you know, those places. I mean, that's football. That's like life, you know. So it's that's definitely a favorite of mine. I'm looking forward to doing that again this fall. And again, Louis, I want to say thank you so much for coming on. This has been, I'm honored, man. Believe me when I tell you, I'm so honored to have you on. And I look forward to speaking again and getting to know each other and connecting soon.
Yeah, no question, Big Daddy. I appreciate you staying after me and getting on here and us hooking up. I know we'll see each other on the road, and I'm sure we'll have some of those off-camera type conversations like that you talk about that we'll really be able to get down and dirty as far as some of the stuff that happens in the business of football and sports, which you've made a great career, you know, doing and otherwise. And I'm still seeing if I can scratch a little bit deeper underneath the surface as far as my own is concerned. So I look forward to it, man, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And for everyone out there, Big Daddy and Friends, where we bring incredible guests and we tell stories and we actually tell the story behind the story. So until next time, Louis, again, thank you, and we'll see everybody real soon. Take care and have a great day.